Our guest tonight is WWE Hall of Famer Diamond Dallas Page. How you doing?
Unstoppable, man. Just enjoying I love this time of year. I just finished doing a video that'll be out called the Dallas's 12 Days of Christmas, which is all wrapped around DDP Yoga. It's pretty funny. So we just finished up. Super holiday spirit, man.
Where can we find the video?
It'll probably come up on our Diamond Dallas Page YouTube channel, but it'll be out on Facebook, and it'll be floating all over the place. It's just me and my crew, just screwing around doing our version of 12 Days of Christmas.
If we learn one thing from speaking to you in the past as well, there is never enough DDP. So I will be looking for that. Everybody should be looking for that. Well, what we have you on talk about is the DDP Yoga Now app. Well, you've already helped so many people with DDP Yoga. The DDP Yoga Now app is making it even easier for people to keep up with their workouts and their nutrition. What was your ultimate goal with the release of this fitness tool?
It's been been working on it for years, and it's finally at the spot where I'm ready to start to promote it and let people know about it because it's so tight. It's a lot of people still invest in our DVDs, but eventually DVDs, just like 8-tracks and records and CDs and everything, eventually they're going to be gone. So I've been preparing with this DDP Yoga Now app, and really the app is it's got every workout that I've ever done, plus all the new workouts that we put on the app. So it's got like over 150 workouts that start from kids workouts, DDPY for kids. I've also got, anywhere from beginner to intermediate, advanced. But I also just developed DDPY Rebuild. And that's really for people 55 plus or people who have limited mobility. And literally, like, if you can't get out of bed, guess what? I got a workout for you that helps you get out of the bed and get in the chair. And then you can't get out of the chair? Well, I got workouts for you. And I'm going to show you how to work out in a chair so you can hopefully get out of the chair and then start to use the chair for balance. So it's really every single level, from little kids to people in their 80s or 90s even, and from athletes to people who are beat-up athletes who can't play anymore. Like right now, I'm starting to work with a lot of NFL legends. And to be an NFL legend, you had to last at least 3.5 years in the league. And it's crazy because what I've learned is so many of these guys, like probably 70% of the guys who start, and get the invitation to come to the NFL in their rookie season, 70% of them never make it. So it's a very small percentage that actually hang in there, and they actually even last 3.5 years. Like that's sort of like the average. When you average from the Brett Favres to the guys who got 1 year in, 3.5 years, and that's the average guy. So helping all of those athletes, and a lot of these guys are my heroes growing up as a kid. So that's really awesome. So all of that is up on the DDP Yoga Now app, along with, people ask me, like, how do you eat? How do you stay in the shape you're in? Like, I eat, I still drink, I still have a cocktail, I still have a gluten-free beer, which is really amazing, some of them. But, I still have wine, I still have tequila, so I still have a cocktail, I still eat meat. I just eat clean. I eat real food, what God created. And I created all these recipes that are on the app as well, not just where you can look at the recipe and see the directions. I actually video me filming it, making the food for you, whether it's with my wife, my daughters, buddies of mine who are chefs or whatever, and so all of, breakfast, lunch, dinner, entrees, salads, sweets, pizza, I mean, you name it, I cook it. And it's all up there on the app. And then, of course, there's all the inspirational stuff. DDP TV on the app is really your way to stay connected and to stay inspired so that you actually, like, you want to put the work in because you're seeing such amazing results. And that follows all of our tracking, from your weight to your pictures to your inches that you lose, to your pain index. And then I even get into blood sugar and blood sugar and A1C and what the hell is it called? Where they put the thing on your forearm or in your bicep. What is that called?
Oh, you're looking at the wrong guy. Oh, your blood pressure. I'm overweight. You're looking at the wrong guy when it comes to health and fitness.
Your
I'm
blood
trying.
pressure's top notch through the roof.
It is. The doctor literally said that to me too.
Well, how old are you?
I am 30. But I'm working on it.
Okay.
I am doing see. I did DDP yoga. I don't know if this is a true story. I started doing DDP yoga for a Bleacher Report article several years ago. I started, and you actually called me and said, "Keep it up, don't mess up. You can do this. You can do this." You showed faith in me, and I did it for 6 weeks. And my wife got pregnant, and shit fell to the wayside, and I gained weight through her pregnancy with her. And that's not an excuse. It's just what happened. But since I went back to the doctor a couple weeks ago, he told me my blood pressure was high. Since that point, I lost a total of 35 pounds, and it's just trying to eat better and doing the DVDs that I had from before.
That's awesome, man. That's awesome. But try the app. I'll hook you up the app so you can actually see it. Because the app it helps keep you on track. Because, again, Motivational Mondays, I've got a whole inspirational section on there. And people, you want to know how you keep from getting depressed? You want to know how you keep from falling in the hole? You have to feed your brain, your mindset. You have to feed that the same way you feed your body, whether it's nutrition or whether it's working out or what you put into your brain every day. And every Monday, I've got a different Motivational Monday that, is something that's happening in my life, and I just share it with everybody and how they can turn it around and own it. It's all about the story you tell yourself. And I know we talked about this right before, but I'll say this. I just wrote a book. It's not out yet, but you can actually pre-order it on Amazon. It's called Own Your Life. And in the opening paragraph, I've never seen anybody do this before, and I think it's an original because I've never heard of anybody thinking of this before, but it starts out with the concept of what would you do if you knew you couldn't fail? Like, what would you do? And then we explore that. And I explained, I have lived every single dream I've ever had. Every one. And I did it, and I really break it down throughout Own Your Life. I did it by the story I tell myself. I did it by putting the work in. I did it because when everybody laughed at me, whether it was I was going to be a wrestler at 35, or I'm going to ice my body to keep the inflammation down, or I'm going to film my matches so I can study them and play them for Jake, who will actually, educate me on what I did right or make me learn what I did right and what I did wrong and why this worked and why it didn't. But everybody laughed at me. When I started, creating my own yoga for people who wouldn't be caught dead doing yoga, everybody laughed at me. And what I really realized was when people are laughing at me, what I'm saying or what I'm doing, I'm on to something. And even though it looked like a lot of times, we have another movie going to come out 2018. It's another documentary. And you guys all saw The Resurrection of Jake the Snake, right?
Of course.
Absolutely.
And second highest rated sports doc on Netflix. So if you're listening and you haven't seen The Resurrection of Jake the Snake, you need to watch it. Our contract with Netflix, I think, has another 6 months, and then we already have other networks that want to take it and run with it because they know it's a great film. And even though millions and millions of people have Netflix, not everybody has Netflix. So we can't wait to get it out there and get it to the next network that we're going to go to, see what our response there is. But I didn't do it. One of my guys who works for me, named Nathan Mowry, he has directed what we're calling Relentless. And Relentless, like Own Your Life, because but it's only one section of my life, and it's where I, end in the wrestling business, and when I blow my back out, and what happens with this journey that has become DDP Yoga, which I'm branding everything DDPY right now, because people who don't really know, they'll say, "Oh God, I love your yoga," and I go, "What did you call it?" I don't do yoga. I do DDP Yoga. I do really DDPY, because it's kind of like P90X. Everybody knows what P90X is. You guys know what it was, right? As far as being a great workout and stuff, right?
Yeah, I never did it because I have. It's not built for people with a little bit of meat on their bones, I should say.
No. But the bottom line is, you know what it is, but you don't know what it even means. Like nobody does. I actually looked it up, but nobody knows what it means. But they'll know what DDPY means. And it's a way of branding it, because anyone who does yoga, I never developed this for yogis. Like yogis who come into one of my classes or one of my workshops, they're like, "Well, Diamond, this isn't really yoga." I go, "Exactly. It's DDPY. It's its own animal. Now, can I get the same benefits and more? Yeah." And that's why I did it. I could have been huge in the yoga community if I would have walked that path. But I was the guy who wouldn't be caught dead doing yoga. So why would I try to turn other people who are already onto yoga onto my kind of yoga? Screw that. I'm going to go get the people who wouldn't be caught dead doing yoga. And I'm going to do it. And everybody laughed at me. And now we've built it into this phenomenon. And you guys are doing it. So it's super humbling and at the same time gratifying.
Mike, your next question?
Well, you've helped so many people get their lives back on track with DDP Yoga, both inside and outside the wrestling business. But is there a specific case that you're proudest of, be it Jake Roberts, Scott Hall, or maybe even someone that wrestling fans might not be familiar with?
Well, it's so funny because not everybody, but millions of people have seen the video of the disabled veteran that I helped. And that's the only reason I got Jake to do it, or Jericho. Jericho, because of Jericho, I got AJ to do it. Because of this one, I got that to do it. But Jericho is I would say the two biggest influencers in the success of DDP Yoga is, the first one is this guy named Arthur Borman. You guys seen the video of him, right?
He's the former soldier, the paratrooper who had the problems, and he's essentially the video that really made this go viral, essentially.
Exactly. When a lot of people didn't even know what the hell viral was.
That's true.
This is 2012, and we put that video up. That was from 5 years ago at that time. And Arthur anybody that invested in my program, my first one, just my DVDs. There was no food plan. There was no inspiration. We didn't have all these amazing communities online like teamddpyoga.com or our Facebook DDP Yoga. We didn't have all that. It was just me. And every single person who invested in the program, I'd send them an email. And I'd say, "I'm not trying to sell you anything. You already bought the program. I'm sending you this email to thank you for believing in what I'm trying to do. I got 5 questions for you, though." And people, they would write me back, "This isn't DDP. I'm hot off TV." It's like 2000. I think it's like 2005 2006 at the time. I'm hot off TV a couple of years, so no one believes I'm really doing this, but I am. I'm cutting and pasting and sending each email out for each person who invests in the program. And this guy, Arthur, gave me some amazing feedback. So I wrote him back. I said, "Hey, man, thank you so much for taking the time to do that." I go, it sounds like you need some help. Can you tell me a little bit about yourself? And he wrote back, the cliff notes are disabled vet, morbidly obese, I've relegated to thinking of myself as a piece of furniture. And I'm like, wow, that's stiff. So I said, send me some pictures so I could see what I'm working with. And he sent me these pictures with his knee braces that I didn't know, but attached to his back brace, which took his wife 20 minutes to put it on him every single morning as she helped him out of bed and then gave him his wraparound canes to hobble to the bathroom. And he was 5'6", 297. And I was like, wow, man, I'm looking at those canes and I'm thinking, how am I going to help that guy? So I sent him one of the food plans that I had from a guy named Dr. Fred Bishy. And I knew this one was all about health. And if he sends me back an email saying, I think I can do it or I'll give it a try, I send him back an email, awesome, keep me posted. But he didn't do that. He said, I can do this. I said, send me your phone number. That's the first guy that I ever talked to about the program that I didn't know or indirectly know from somebody. And I talked to him, and we had a great talk, and 2 weeks later he called me back, and he said, Dallas, I've lost 20 pounds, and I've lost 4 inches off my stomach. Now, it wasn't a real 4 inches because he was bloated by eating foods that inflamed his stomach. Once he got off those, he probably lost about, almost an inch off his stomach that first week, 2 weeks, maybe. But the bloatingness made it look like 4. So he was shocked, and he was like ready to listen to anything I told him. He would go on to lose. Now, all he wanted to lose, guys, was 50 pounds. So the VA would operate on his knees because his knees and hips were so bad. But his knees were really bad, botched surgeries. So that's his goal, get the surgery, get under 50 pounds. So he'd be under 250 at 5'6", and they'd operate on him. That first month he lost 32 pounds. The next month he lost 22 pounds. The next month he lost 18 pounds. That's 72 pounds in 3 months. He would go on to lose 140 pounds in 10 months. More importantly, he lost the knee braces, the back brace, and the wraparound canes, not just to walk, but run. More importantly, he has never had those knee operations. Now, that's when I started to learn food. The food you put in your body can heal you or it can fuck you. And there's a reason today. Like, if you go back 25 years ago, back when the refrigerator, Perry, was playing for the Chicago Bears. Do you remember him?
Of course.
Yes.
Everybody, the announcers, oh, my God, he's 300 pounds. Today, high school linemen are 300 pounds. Today, 300-pounders are everywhere. The reality is you never saw a 400-pound guy. Today, they're everywhere. You just start looking. You can find 5, 6, and 7s too. And I know because they're all around me. And I know because the food what they've done to the food. So you guys need to educate your asses. You need to watch 2 movies. One's Food Inc., the other's Genetic Roulette. And just to get the education, just so you know, because in the last 20 years, obesity, heart disease, cancer, diabetes, autism have blown through the roof. The main thing that's changed, the food. The pesticides on the food and the genetic modifications of it. Now, I'm 61 years young. I could smoke any of you guys on the mat, any kind of conditioning. And I don't care how old you are, because I go up against guys when I'm training Temple University's football team, or when I'm down with the Cavaliers, the Virginia Cavaliers football team. As studly as these studs are, when it goes head to head, they can't hang with me at 61. Then again, I eat real food, and I'm conditioned differently than they are. And when they get to the condition level that I'm at, then they will blow me away. And they should, because if I could do this, what could you do? That's one of our sayings at DDPY. If the 61-year-old beat-up wrestler can do this, what could you do? I did a workout the other day, 40 minutes, and in between that workout, I did 230 push-ups. I don't know many guys that can do that, you know, but it was just something I did to see what I could do that day.
I did 15. I did 15 the other day, and I was so proud of myself. I literally was like, "Wifey, check me out. I did 15 push-ups. I am succeeding in life."
Hey, you know what? Better than not only being able to do 5.
That's true.
So it's a good start. Because when I started to go on that regimen, I could get up to 22, and that hurt. And then I built up to where I could get 55 in a row. And then do 2 sets of that, and then did 2 sets of 45. You know, and then I did 30 on the, or I think I did 20, and then I did 10. So my goal was to get to 230 that day within a 40-minute workout. Again, it's all about the conditioning and what you do, but the food you put in your body is so important. And a lot of guys don't want to hear that. It's like, don't worry about it until you got cancer, you know, which everybody just accepts as like everybody gets cancer. You know, like diabetes. Oh, everybody gets diabetes. Oh, he just had to get his toes taken off and his ankles taken off. Now he's got no feet. How important was that chocolate cake? Well, I'd rather have feet. And still eat the chocolate cake, but my version, like the real version of chocolate cake.
It's heavy. It's very heavy, and it's something to think about. Let's shift gears to a more positive. Let's talk some wrestling now. We talked plenty of DDP. Let's talk some wrestling.
Sure.
You made several recent in-ring appearances with WWE, including the 2015 Royal Rumble, WrestleMania 32. You popped the crowd. People were going crazy for you. Would you be interested in another one-off appearance with the WWE? And do you feel you could pull off another singles match? You talk about your push-ups. You talk about your cardio. Do you think you could do another singles match if you were ever asked to do so?
I know I could, but how would I be at the end of that match? You know what I mean? Like, risk and reward, not worth it. You know, like, it just would not be worth the punishment, because I would go out there and I could, believe me, I could. The reason why Vince put me in the Royal Rumble, or the Andre the Giant Battle Royal, you know, because there was like 12 legends that could still go. And he picked Tatanka. I have trouble with that one. And myself, which I was honored, because it was like 2 days for my 60th birthday. And the only guy that I know would go out there and really could work at 60 was Flair. And Dory Funk could too. And there was a couple other guys, but a very small handful of guys that could go out and do it. For me, I know I could do it, but I would feel so beat up afterwards that it wouldn't be worth it to me. But anytime I could go out and hit a diamond cutter, and believe me, after WrestleMania, at the Andre the Giant show, and the Rumble, when I got to hit 3 cutters out of nowhere, Cody had sent me a text when he found out, because I've known Cody Rhodes since he was 7. He was the first one. And he said, how apropos that I would be the first to take the cutter. You know, that kid's doing great right now with everything he's doing independently, ROH and Japan and all that. Super proud of him. I've known him since he was 7 years old. But I would still do that. You know, I go out there and hit that cutter out of nowhere, and the people would jump on it. What was really cool is I have this picture at Mania where I came out and I threw the diamond cutter sign up, and from the angle, from the people on the ground who all had the diamond cutter sign up to the 3 levels of like 20% of that crazy Dallas stadium, we had 101,000 people there. Like 80% of them were standing there. We're putting up the diamond cutter sign. I mean, that was humbling. That was super, super cool. that they care still, you know.
Oh, it's the impact you've had on the business, my friend. It runs deep for a lot of us. Mike Chiari, got a next question?
Yeah, well, you've done some work at the WWE Performance Center in the past, teaching DDP yoga to the NXT talent. So, given your experience and your knowledge base, would you ever have any interest in joining the Performance Center as a trainer, or even going there more often to teach DDP yoga in order to help the up-and-coming talent?
I have to do that, and I got to call in the Matt, who's running it right now. I got to get down there and I want to get down there like once a quarter, you know, the least once, you know, twice a year. Cause it's funny. If you look at I have some videotape from that day, and the people who were there, who were the kids coming up, Sasha was one of them. Bailey was one of them. Braun Strowman was one of them. God, it's amazing how many of them that were there. God, I can't remember his name right now. I got a brain fart. Kurt Angle's son.
Jason Jordan.
Jason Jordan.
Jordan. What a great, great kid. And what a stud. It was him and 8 other kids. And we did the 10-second push-up challenge. Now, when I went to Iraq, Afghanistan, I'd go head-to-head with any Marine or anybody, you know, that would do the 10-second challenge with me. And I got as high as 8 of those. And you think a push-up's hard. Try going down for 10 seconds, holding 3 inches off the ground for 10 seconds, and coming up for 10 seconds. That's 1. So I know I could do 6, you know, at the time when I was down there. But I know these guys are super athletes. Like these guys, if you're in the Performance Center and you're one of the top-end elite guys, your conditioning level is insane. So I stood up and called the 10-second push-ups as all these guys got in the plank position and started. And it came down to this kid, Alex and Jordan, and they ended up tying and doing 11 of them.
Wow.
Like that was mine. And I knew that kid was, because he's just such, you know, he looks phenomenal. He's got a great attitude. He's a good looking guy. He's great. He's a great athlete. I think I was so happy to see them give him the Kurt Angle rub push. So, but he was one of the guys that was down there too. You know, it was pretty cool, you know, seeing them guys down there and then seeing them get up there and get a chance to be on the show, you know, and be a part of the big show. So, not the big show, the show, you know, the WWE. But, yeah, I really want to get down there because it can help them so much. Like I've been talking to Becky Lynn back and forth because someone had put something up about doing like her version of the self high five, and I texted her or tweeted her because we follow each other, and I said, "You got to use that." She goes, "Oh, I can't do it. I couldn't do it on her," and I'm like, "No, you got to use it. She's phenomenal." You know, I love her and Sasha and Bailey and you know and Charlotte. I think Charlotte might be the best worker there. You know, I mean, she's phenomenal.
Yeah, final question, BG. We got to get out of here.
Well, excluding yourself, even though that would be a good thing, who would be on your pro wrestling Mount Rushmore?
For me personally, Ric Flair, Dusty Rhodes. How many do I get? 4 or 5? 4, right?
4.
Ric Flair, Dusty, Jake, and Vince.
Would you put yourself on there if you could?
Absolutely. Vince should be gone.
Love it.
So, you know, me and Dusty used to sit around and talk about Vince, and like we considered him. But, you know, you're talking about Dusty Rhodes, the real icon. You know, Vince, Dusty and I both considered Vince the best heel babyface in the business ever. Because when he's a babyface, you love him. And when he's a heel, God, do you hate him. And, like, he's the worker's worker. You know, and we used to laugh about some of the, we used to laugh about some of the stuff that, he would do. And, I think Bischoff, I hope Bischoff goes in the Hall of Fame this year. I mean, I'd love to induct him, but, probably be Jason Hervey or somebody. But I would love to induct him because I got so many great stories about him. But Eric Bischoff brought the best out of Vince.
He did. That was the Monday Night War. It was the best time in wrestling ever, and that competition was what made a lot of us, fall so head over heels in love with the wrestling. But listen, DDP, I wish we had more time. We always run so long with you, but I'm sorry we kept you. A huge thank you to DDP Diamond Dallas Page. Check out DDP Yoga Now app, available on iOS and Android. Also, pre-order his book, Own Your Life, on Amazon. Pre-order now. It's coming out the SummerSlam weekend, correct?
Yeah, SummerSlam weekend. And if you guys want to get a better deal, if you're not just do the iTunes or whatever, go to ddpyoga.com, because right now I got 30% off on the app, which is really big deals. I've never done that. 30% off of our DVDs, 30% off all of our apparel. We've got some really cool DDP Yoga shirts that got like the Union Jack, like the British flag, and we've got the American flag on there. It looks like a superhero spot. Very cool T-shirts. They're definitely flying out the door. And like I say, they're 30% off. And we got this really cool hoodie that we just got that's everybody loves. And all of that plus the DVDs and the app, all 30% off. You can't beat that, and it ain't gonna last. And it's ticking down, so check it out.
Christmas is right around the corner. If you're looking for something to get the wrestling fan in your life, or just the fan looking to lose a few extra lbs during the winter time, this is the perfect opportunity. And you know what? Another huge thank you to Diamond Dallas Page. Good luck moving forward, sir.
Hey guys, you guys have a really awesome, healthy holiday. See ya.